Because I could not believe that people were so obtuse that they could not realize what the difference between a campaign statement and an actual office policy is.
So when you make campaign statements, those aren't true? You're not being honest with your voters?
That's not what I'm saying at all, sir.
Sure sounded like it.
Sure
sounded like it.
America, every outlet covered this May 14, 2026 hearing as a Jim Jordan fight. Republicans versus Soros-backed prosecutor, political theater on Capitol Hill, and they walked right past the actual story. The actual story here is a woman named Cheryl Minter who opened up the congressional testimony with a poem from a mug her daughter Stephanie gave her, who told the entire country she's not there for politics. She's there for accountability. She said if not for these failures, she would be sharing a cup of coffee with Stephanie that morning instead of speaking to Congress. And sitting 2 seats away from her at the same witness table was a man who dropped charges after charges against the person who is now accused of killing Stephanie, who had 3 written police warnings in his inbox predicting this particular outcome, who told everyone questioning him that only an obtuse person would expect him to follow his own 6-year campaign promise. A mother sat 10 feet away and watched the system explain why her daughter's death was not its fault. That, my friends, is the story that nobody told.
I am here because a system failed my daughter. If not for these failures, I could be sharing a cup of coffee with Stephanie this morning rather than speaking with you all today. When policies protect people who are a known threat, innocent lives are put at risk. When warnings are ignored, families like mine pay the price.
What is up, guys? Tyson DeLaCruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Steve Descano has been a Fairfax County Commonwealth attorney since 2020. His job is to prosecute people police arrest in one of the wealthiest counties in America, 20 miles from the Capitol building. In plain terms, he's the man who decides which charges stick and which charges get dropped. His 2019 campaign received more than $600,000 from the Justice and Public Safety PAC, a political committee heavily funded by George Soros. And on that campaign website that stayed live for 6 consecutive years, he made a promise to voters could read anytime that they wanted. He wrote it himself. Wherever possible, Steve will make charges and plea decisions that limit or void immigration consequences. He also wrote, if 2 people commit the same crime, but only one person punishments includes deportation, that is a preservation of justice. The language stayed on the website through 2020, through 2021, through 2022, through 2023, through 2024, on into 2025. The House Justice Subcommittee sent a letter asking him to testify. 1 week later, it was gone. 6 years of public policy scrubbed in 7 days. Watch what happened when Jordan asked him directly why.
It's been up for 6 years. A week after we send you a letter saying we want you to come testify, shazam, you change it.
Because
I'm
I
just
could not
asking, is that coincidental?
Because I could not believe that people were so obtuse that they could not realize what the difference between a campaign statement and an actual office policy is.
So when you make campaign statements, those aren't true? You're not being honest with your voters?
That's not what I'm saying at all, sir.
Sure sounded like it. Sure sounded like it.
He never answered, not once. Shazam! Exactly the right words here. 6 years, hidden, in plain sight. You know what's the opposite of that? Today's video sponsor, purebulk.com. Everything they sell, they show you exactly what's in it. We're talking about no fillers, no artificial dyes, no sugars, and every single batch of their stuff is third-party lab tested right here in the United States of America. Certificate of analyst available upon request. No Shazam moments here, no scrubbing, just clean, transparent supplements. And you guys, I used to buy my supplements off of Amazon.com, and I had no idea what I was actually getting. And since I switched to purebulk.com, I know that I'm getting quality every single time. And the selection on their website is absolutely insane. We're talking about proteins, creatines, vitamins, neurotropics, you name it, it is on their site. Their tasty clear electrolytes is what I grab every single morning right after I wake up. It dissolves completely clear in your water, and that clarity, my friends, is the proof that nothing is fake and they ain't hiding nothing. Tasty Clear provides sustained energy, proper hydration, brain sharp enough to break down these stories for you guys. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 1,000 milligrams of potassium, magnesium, calcium, high potency, clean, clear formula. Head over to purebulk.com. Use code Tyson at checkout. Again, that's purebulk.com. Use Tyson at checkout. Now, back to what's sitting in the inbox, because the next part is where it gets really real. 6 years of documented policies vanished the moment that federal scrutiny arrived here. But the more damaging piece here isn't what's deleted from Descanto's website. It was sitting in his inbox for months and months. 3 police warnings, all in writing, about one man and what those warnings specifically predicted. Fairfax County Police did not quietly worry about Abdul Jalal. We covered him quite a bit on this channel. They communicated their concerns directly to Descanto's office 3 separate times, all in writing, specifically naming Jalal, specifically asking that he be prosecuted and held accountable, specifically warning what would happen if he wasn't prosecuted correctly. YJLA reporter Nick Monick obtained those emails through the Freedom of Information Act request. One of those emails used these exact words here. Not a question of if, but rather when he will maliciously wound or worse again, written, sent, received, and filed and ignored. And on February 23rd, 2026, Abdul was charged with stabbing Stephanie Minter to death at a Fairfax County bus stop. The police who wrote that email, they did their job. The chief deputy Commonwealth attorney those emails went to, Jenna Sands, was present during the congressional hearing. Watch what happened when Nick caught her in the hallway afterwards.
Jenna, do you have regrets? Police wrote you 3 separate times that Abdul Jalal was dangerous.
Nick,
why didn't you heed those warnings?
Police concerns.
Nick, I'm pretty sure
about
Laura's given.
She smiled, not awkward, apparently not flustered. She smiled and walked away from the reporter asking about the police warnings that preceded a murder. On the same day, Cheryl Minter testified in that particular building. The smile here, you guys, is not a small little detail. It tells you how the office processes questions of accountability here in Virginia. And what gets me here, you guys, is the first apology that Cheryl Minter ever received from Steve Descanto was delivered that same day. Steve Descanto apologized to Cheryl Minter on May 14, 2026 at the congressional hearing in his opening statement on camera for the cameras before anything started. Watch what he said.
Ms. Minter, I am deeply sorry for your loss. And I say that not only as a prosecutor, but as a parent of a daughter. I am sorry for what you are having to endure. And I promise that my office is doing everything we can to prosecute the man responsible.
This was the first time that Steve Descanto ever directly apologized to Cheryl Minter. Not after the murder in February, not after the police emails became public in March, not in between the weeks of the emails and news reports, a congressional hearing with cameras rolling. That is what it took. That was done purposefully. Watch how the woman who received it described how it felt to receive it.
It landed like a little too late. A little too late. And yeah, of course you're sorry. And if it had happened to your 5-year-old daughter, you'd be sitting exactly where I am right now. And maybe you'd be changing your policies, because apparently they're his policies.
A little too late, and I absolutely agree. She said it without screaming, without falling apart. Just a plain honest assessment of a woman who's done the math on the timing and the apology and when it was communicated. And the point about his 5-year-old daughter, he would be changing those policies if it was his family, is honestly the sharpest thing said about this entire situation across any broadcast that I've seen. Even a reporter went after Descanto in the hallway for the same questioning about the timing about all this. Got very creative on the non-answer.
Why haven't you apologized to Ms. Minter sooner?
I'm sorry, say again?
Since that murder, why have you not apologized to her sooner?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. This is what people do to buy time. I can't hear you. What'd you say? Excuse me? And then they repeat the question. You heard the question. He just didn't have an answer to it that would work well on live cameras. And the former acting ICE director used two words to describe the apology here: icky and performative. Those are very kind words. That should follow Steve Descanso through every future statement that he makes, quote unquote, caring about victims' family. Cheryl Minter already told you what it felt like. She knew here what she was receiving. She sat in the courtroom with the coffee mug and the coffee mug poem and processed it all in real time. That story, you guys, doesn't get smaller from here. Most of the coverage of this hearing missed that Jalal is obviously not the only case. On December 16, 2025, 2 months before Stephanie Minter was killed, Descano's office chose not to prosecute Marvin Morales Ortiz for aggravated malicious wounding and brandishing a firearm. On December 17, 2025, the next day, Morales Ortiz was charged with murder. The sheriff had no legal bias to hold him because Descanso, he wouldn't prosecute. Jordan laid out both cases on the same table at the same hearing. Watch the Kincaid exchange on the release.
So this guy, the guy beside you wouldn't prosecute the guy who's an illegal migrant, who'd been charged with 6 different crimes, who was arrested for murder in 2020, who in 2023 assaulted a police officer, and who in September of 2025 was charged with aggravated malicious wounding and brandishing a gun. And that guy's released, you can't hold him because he's not going to be prosecuted. Is that right?
I'm not sure about,
That's what you told us. You sent us a letter on March 11, 2016, addressed to myself and Chairman McClintock, and you said on December 16, 2025, the Commonwealth's attorney moved to not prosecute the charges of aggravated malicious wounding and brandishing a firearm by Mr. Morales Ortiz. So you had to let him out, didn't you?
Through a court order by a judge, yes, I did.
You had to let him out.
I was ordered to release him by a judge.
The sheriff was ordered by a judge. The judge had no choice because Descanso refused to prosecute. Descanso refused because his 6-year website confirmed prosecution was supposed to be a factor in immigration consequences. 2 separate people charged with murder the day after Descanso's office declined to hold them. And the man who summed up what that pattern represents sat next to Descanso and said the single most important sentence of the entire hearing.
That is as shameful as anything I have seen. Quit defending the indefensible. You clearly don't.
Absolutely
You dismissed the case, and it's shameful.
Sir,
you're a coward.
Some members of Congress said Stephanie's murder is one of many examples where Descano's office has dropped charges and given sweetheart deals to illegal immigrant criminals who went on to commit more crimes in the county.
Not incompetence, not coincidence, policy. A former attorney general of the Commonwealth of Virginia said that under oath with Descano sitting next to him. Descano's response? The record show was theatrical head shaking, loud sighs, and dramatic facial expressions. Not one factual counter argument, just performative and performance, identical to the apology that he provided. And the most precise legal description of what the policies actually builds comes from someone who's been tracking this for years and years. Sean Kennedy sits on the Fairfax County Criminal Justice Advisory Board and leads Virginians for Safe Communities. He testified at that same exact hearing. His written testimony contains the clearest single sentence about what Descano's office is actually constructed. Mr. Descano operates a 2-tier justice system, one for criminal aliens subjected to deportation and the other for American citizens. In the upside-down world of Fairfax Commonwealth's attorney's office, citizenship confers fewer rights and protections, not more. Citizenship confirms fewer rights. In an American county run by a prosecutor funded by $600,000 from a Soros PAC. And on May 7, 2026, 1 week before the hearing, the DOJ Civil Rights opened up a formal pattern of practice investigation into exactly that question. The specific legal concern here is whether Descanso's office discriminated against American citizens by offering preferred treatment to non-citizen defendants. The people who set that investigation in motion with their public records request, their emails, and their testimony are the police officers who wrote the warnings and the mother who refused to let this get buried.
Thank you. Sheriff, why'd you let Marvin Morales Ortiz out of jail?
Because I received a court order, a judicial order from a judge ordering his release.
Judicial warrant, that phrase is probably one of the most important legal sleights of hand in this entire story. Multiple legal experts confirmed at this hearing a federal judicial warrant for civil immigration enforcement does not exist under American law. We covered this several times on this channel. ICE uses administrative warrants, which are legally valid here. Kincaid is demanding a document that can't physically be obtained, not because the law requires it, but because demanding something impossible is how you dress it up. Kincaid knows this. She knows it. Her attorney knows it. Cheryl Minter had to sit in a room and listen to all this bull crap.
And the fact that I'll never see her can hurt so deep. So deep.
Hey everybody, it's Nick Minock with 7 News. I'm in Spotsylvania County today where I spoke to the mother of Stephanie Minter. Stephanie is the single mother from Fredericksburg who was killed, stabbed at a bus stop in Fairfax County earlier this year. And police say it was at the hands of Abdul Jallo, an illegal immigrant who has a lengthy criminal history. And now Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney Steve Descano's office is under investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice. The DOJ is investigating allegations and Mr. Descano's policy that seems to give preferential treatment to illegal immigrants. Here's what Stephanie's mother told me about this news. You filed a complaint with the Department of Justice, and now the DOJ is investigating. How does that feel that your complaint has helped result into an investigation into the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office?
The basis is great. I had to lose my daughter for it to happen.
Mr. Descano has responded to the DOJ, saying he has been notified by the DOJ about their investigation, and he claims that his policies are fair, legal, and represent the values of Fairfax County residents. But Miss Minter doesn't agree. Take a listen.
How can any of that be fair? I mean, I don't see where fairness is top priority. I don't see where he's doing a whole lot of anything to help the citizens.
She filed a DOJ complaint. Her complaint triggered a federal civil rights investigation into Descano's office. Not a congressman, not political action committee, a grieving mother who took direct action on camera in plain language. And she said in 2 sentences what the entire hearing was trying to establish. I don't see where he's doing a whole lot of anything to help citizens. That, my friends, is the verdict. Now, when you look at the entire system, it all adds up.
And this Fairfax Police Department was warning Descano's office that this guy is going to continue to stab people, or even worse, as they said in an email, official email to his office. And not only the 40 arrests, they had 100 contacts with this person, police contacts with him, so they knew how dangerous he was. And who knows if police officers get discouraged from arresting someone knowing that the Commonwealth's attorney will repeatedly drop charges.
20 miles from the capital, one of the wealthiest counties in America, half of its murders, you guys, involve people who shouldn't even be in this country in the first place. MS-13 gang members released, murderers in 24 hours. Morales Ortiz released December 16th, murdered somebody on December 17th. Jalal, Stephanie Minter at a bus stop. These aren't separate tragedies. They are documented outputs of a policy, of a system running exactly the way that it's meant to be designed. And the most reasonable person who sat in that room where all this was being explained is Cheryl Minter.
Change has got to happen with this. It's just got to. I don't know where all these political people are. I mean, they stopped serving citizens. They've just stopped. And I'm not quite sure how they get voted in.
America, Cheryl Minter filed a complaint with the Department of Justice. Her complaint opened up a Pandora's box and opened up a federal civil rights investigation into Steve Descano's office. Not a congressman, not a political action committee, a grieving mother who refused to let the system explain itself and move on. Descano's recall campaign is currently active. His DOJ investigation is open. His 6-year-old website was miraculously scrubbed. His first public apology to a woman whose daughter's case moved through his office was delivered at a congressional hearing with the cameras rolling. This is what happens when the race nobody watches produces an official nobody vets. Commonwealth's attorney, the office that decides which charges get filed and which ones get dropped. You better check out who's running for office in your county, not the Senate race, not the governor, that one. Stephanie Minter got a poem from a coffee mug her daughter gave her. She deserved a prosecutor who read the police emails instead. The bodies here, you guys, tell you who matters. The silence tells you the rest. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.